Hello. I'm sorry I haven't made videos for a very long time. I'm very busy with my grandchildren. But I read all your comments and I'm trying to address all your requests. In particular, there were many requests on speed knitting or continental knitting. And I think it will be useful to start with casting on the stitches. So this short end I put around my thumb, and the end that goes to the skein I put around my pointer finger and connect both ends in my palm and secure with 3 other fingers. Now you can use 1 needle or 2 needles, it doesn't matter. So now I will use 2 needles to make stitches larger and make it easier for you to see what I'm doing. So I'm pulling 2 needles together under yarn that goes between the fingers. And this is stitch number 1, by the way, but it is not fixed yet. So after that, what I am going to do is moving both needles. We'll be doing only with 2 needles. I pull under the yarn, see, under the yarn, see, that is around my thumb. Then I pick yarn from my pointer finger and pull it in between, see, and now I'm releasing this and tightening it. This is the first, these are first 2 stitches. Now continue exactly the same way, picking from here around and tightening, and again. So I'll show you from here, maybe it will be easier. Oh, sorry, I'm looking into the camera, not at my hands, not at my hands. So that's another one, and again, okay. And again, and release. And I think that's enough for showing. Now I will just cast on a few stitches, doesn't matter how many, I think that's enough. And now I will show you the way, the continental or speed knitting way. So I'm removing 1 needle and leaving stitches on the other needle, turning it around. And now there are 2 ways of continental or speed knitting. One we call grandma's way and another classical. I'll start with classical. By the way, result is exactly the same. However, I will show you what the difference is, and you can choose whichever way is easier for you to knit. First of all, I wanted to bring to your attention that yarn we keep in our left hand, not in the right hand. It is very important. And yarn goes freely around my pointer finger, and I'm holding the left needle with the stitches and the yarn together, just like this. Some people put it around pinky, but I don't like it. I think stitches come too tight. But it's just a question of habit. My grandmother taught me this way, and my mother also, my aunts, everybody in my family knits this way for generations. So that's how we hold it. Bring a hand close to the needle, hold it tightly, and a thumb goes at the front. Now first stitch, of course, we just transfer, and now I will show you one of the ways. There are, by the way, two ways. We call one classical and another grandma's way. So it's easier to show first classical way. I'll show you stitches from the top. See, each stitch wraps around the needle. We all know it. And each stitch has front loop and rear loop. In a classical way, we pick the stitch for knitting from the front, okay, like this, and then pick the yarn and pull it through, and now release the stitch. I'll show you again. So we'll go from the front, pick the yarn and release, and again from. You can even with the middle finger, you can hold and help yourself. See, moving this or holding it at the back. See, you can do it if you're beginner, complete beginner. See, hold it. It might be easier for you to learn continental knitting. So holding, and when I knit, I just keep stitches very close to the end of the needle, and I just do a little bit helping myself. See, I always hold the stitch. Actually, before this video, I never paid attention to this moment. So apparently I do hold with my middle finger. See, and yarn is tensed, and yarn I hold with my other finger closer to with the needle. With the middle finger, hold it and pull it through. That's it. And again, hold it and it comes through. And again, this is a knit yarn, knit row, and I'm not going to purl the last one. Usually, last stitch is better to purl to create nice edge. Now, I'll show you now the classical purling. How to purl the classical way. Oh, sorry. First stitch, of course, again we transfer from left needle to the right. Now, and this time we keep yarn at the front. When we knit, yarn is at the back. When we purl, yarn it as we keep at the front. Now, we have to keep up, and again, sorry, needles. So sorry, stitches. Look. The front loop comes first on your needle. Rear loop remains at the back. See, they're kind of angled. That's a purl stitches. And it just tells us that we have to purl through the front loop. That's the way to do it. For that, keeping yarn at the front, needle goes inside, and now yarn should be above, and now that's how we kind of wrap it and pull it out. That's the classical way. And again, see, you can bring it down, your pointer finger with the yarn. See, you can do this and pull it through, and again, and it goes this way. See, that's a classical purling. I use it rarely. I'll show you another way also. See, so yarn should be above the needle, or in other words, needle goes under the yarn. See, under, yarn is above. Now we have to pick it and pull it through like this. Now I'll show you grandma ways of purling. For that, yarn should be under the needle. See? If that we had to do, if classical way, yarn should be above the needle for purling, right? Here, yarn should be under the needle. So we're picking the stitch exactly the same way. It's just a question where the yarn is, above or under the needle. This time is under, and it is very simple. You just purl it. That's it. That's a grandma's way. See? And again, and again, and again, and last one. Now I will show you how stitches look after classical and grandma purling. It's maybe not very well noticeable, but I'll turn my needle around and show you from here probably. After grandma ways of purling, the real loop of the knit stitches comes first. You see? This is first and front is second. See, they kind of turned this way. However, this is my last, see, grandma's way. And the classical, look how knit stitches are lying on the needle. Front loop, it comes first. See? Maybe again. Hope you see it. Now I will start knitting and you will see probably better. I hope. First stitch again I'm transferring, and now look. See how they lie? If I knit through this, see, I can't even do it because naturally for this stitch is knitting through the rear loop. That's it. That is grandma's way. Very simple. Rear, pick and release. Rear loop, pick and release. Rear, pick and release. And now we came to the part of the classical way. You can see straight, right, immediately that this loop is first, and knitting through the real loop, look what happens. See, the stitch gets crossed and it looks funny. We have to knit through the front loop to make it look nice as a regular knit stitch. This is grandma's, this is classical. I will finish the row and show you there is no difference in the result. Again, front and pull it through. Front loop, pick the yarn and pull it through. I'm helping with my middle finger, by holding the real loop of the stitch. See, it kind of opens the stitch. See, better. And now grandma's way of purling at the end. Now, regardless of the way of knitting, purl stitches always look the same way. Only knit stitch position of knit stitches changes depending on how you purl. But purl stitches, the other side of your work, remains the same regardless of how you did the knitting, grandma's or classical way. Now first stitch again I transferred, and now I will purl all stitches grandma way. For that, yarn should be under the needle after I pull needle into the purl stitch. it should be under, and I'm pulling the stitch straight. Like classical, what we do? We do this, right? And that way. Grandmas, we just do one move. That's it. Front loop, and that's it. I'll show you from the top. See? And that's it. Important thing is to remember that for purling, yarn should be at the front. When you need, yarn goes at the back. That's it. See? And the last one, if I do it right. Now I will show you the result at the front. There is no difference in the result. You can see the knit stitches, and here are purl stitches. No difference. There's no difference. You just have to try both ways and find which one you like or is more comfortable for you to use. And if you have any questions, please ask me. Please write your questions under this video. If it's not clear enough and you want more videos, just clarify what kind of way, what in particular you didn't understand in this video, and I will try to address all your requests and needs. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.